Episode 1. The world does not ease you in gently. It drops you into the middle of a crisis before you have even figured out where you are. Two women are in the hands of bandits. One of them is screaming. There is no one coming. No knights on horseback, no guards answering a distant alarm. Just woods, and men who think no one is watching, and the ordinary horror of what happens when power goes unchecked. And then, from the shadows, something moves. A figure in towering silver armor, massive and impossibly still for just a moment, and then not still at all. His name is Ark. He takes out the group of bandits before they finish registering that he exists. When the chaos settles, he introduces himself with a cheerful calm that does not match the situation at all. "Hi there," he says. "It's me, Ark. That was kind of repulsive, so I went with a sneak attack." The two women stare at him. Ark stares back. Everything is fine, except Ark has absolutely no idea where he is. Here is what we know about him, or rather, what he knows about himself. He is a gamer. Specifically, the kind of gamer who poured an unreasonable amount of time into an online fantasy RPG, customizing his character to a degree that only a deeply dedicated player would consider worth the effort. His character, named Ark, was a holy knight, the full upgrade path, laden with passive abilities, resistances, and support skills that most players overlook entirely. He gave that character the holy armor of Belinus. He equipped the Twilight Cloak, which regenerates magical energy and resists darkness. He carried the Holy Shield of Two Tates, which provides status immunities scaled to character level. He wielded the Holy Thunder Sword Calibalg, a blade that strikes with the speed and brilliance of lightning. He fell asleep playing. He woke up wearing all of it. His first coherent thought, once the initial panic passes, is to stand very still and catalog what he is carrying. The armor fits perfectly. The weight is negligible. The sword is real. Real in the way that no game peripheral has ever been real, with genuine heft and a physical presence that buzzes faintly when he holds it. He performs a few tests. He swings the blade and unleashes a wyvern slash, a skill he had mapped to a keyboard button for years, and watches in disbelief as a massive arc of force shears clean through a tree. He tries a fire spell, one that his character class was not strictly supposed to have access to. A wall of flame appears. It takes care of a second tree. He stands in the clearing, surrounded by the aftermath, and concludes that he has, somehow, become stronger than anything he remembers the game allowing. His working theory: he can access every skill in the upgrade tree that led to his current class, not just the ones locked to his primary and subjob. If true, it means he has a range of abilities that spans holy healing and dark resistance and elemental offense, which is, as he puts it with characteristic understatement, super sweet. But none of this changes a more pressing reality. He tries the gate spell, which in the game allowed teleportation to known towns. The spell fires. It drops him off a nearby cliff edge. He falls. He catches himself with another ability, Dimension Move, a short-range line-of-sight teleport that functions more like a controlled blink than a proper warp, and lands safely on a riverbank below. He reaches up to take a drink from the river. He removes his helmet. He sees his reflection. He is a skeleton, not a zombie, not a half-decomposed ghoul. A clean, white, entirely skeletal head sitting atop a suit of magnificent armor. His character had a skull for a face because he thought it looked striking when he created it. He did not, at the time, anticipate that this choice would follow him into reality. He spends a moment in genuine horror. Then he puts his helmet back on. The helmet is staying on. That is a permanent policy decision. He makes his way to the nearest town, a castle settlement in the territory of the Louviert family, using Dimension Move to cover ground while staying out of sight. He enters the town, keeping the helmet firmly in place, keeping his voice measured, keeping his bearing as close to that of an ordinary armored traveler as he can manage. The town seems to accept him. He picks up a mercenary license by completing a series of low-level jobs, subjugating a group of fang boars for the villagers, dealing with a cluster of orcs near the outskirts. Quick work, trivial by the standard of what his abilities can do. He is careful not to be flashy. He is trying very hard not to draw attention. He is not entirely successful. On his way back from collecting proof of subjugation for the mercenary license, he spots a carriage on the road, men with swords, a noblewoman and her attendants surrounded. Ark watches for exactly 1 moment, calculating. The bandits are not interested in the carriage. They are interested in the people inside it. He does not deliberate for long. What follows is efficient and complete. Ark moves through the group with the kind of practiced ease that comes from having spent years developing a character optimized for exactly this kind of engagement. Close quarters, multiple targets, protection of non-combatants. The wyvern slash tears through the group in a single pass. The survivors scatter. Ark stands in the quiet aftermath and introduces himself to the two women. Lauren Laraya du Louvière, a young noblewoman from the local ruling family, and her attendant, Rita. They are shaken. They are safe. He tells them he is a traveler on a journey, a knight under a curse that prevents him from showing his face. He improvises this story quickly and commits to it, because it is close enough to true that it sits comfortably, and because he needs an explanation for the helmet. Lauren accepts this with the poise of someone raised to handle unusual circumstances. Rita watches Ark with the particular wariness of someone who is very protective of the person she serves. Ark cremates the fallen bandits using his fire spell, partly out of practicality and partly, he admits to himself, because leaving them on the road seems untidy. He helps the two women recover their composure. He declines their offer of significant gratitude. He waves farewell as they head back toward the Louvière estate. He watches them go. Then he turns back toward town because he is genuinely, urgently hungry, and he has not eaten anything since waking up in another world. And the mercenary guild payment plus his recovered share of the bandit's coin means he can finally do something about that. He orders what appears to be a roasted animal of some variety and a flagon of ale that is fruity and slightly warm, and he eats all of it alone in his room with his helmet off and no one to see him. And it is, without question, the best meal of his life. Not because it is the finest food he has ever tasted, though it is genuinely remarkable, with flavors and aromatics that feel untranslatable from any experience he had before. It is the best meal of his life because he is here, alive, in a world that exceeds anything he ever played through. The danger is real. The loneliness is real. But so is the adventure, the actual, physical, breathing adventure. And as he finishes the last of his ale and holds the rune stone he pulled from the orc earlier up to the light and watches it gleam, what he feels is not fear. What he feels is that tomorrow is going to be interesting. He puts his helmet back on. He stretches out on the bed. He is already thinking about what quest to take tomorrow. Something small, something quiet, something that lets him keep a low profile and explore this world without becoming anyone's myth or monster. He is going to be inconspicuous. He is going to be careful. He is going to attract zero attention. He has decided. He falls asleep planning it. In the morning, everything is about to go slightly sideways. It already is, actually, in the rooms where powerful men with comfortable lives are arranging the fates of people they will never meet. The Louvière family has enemies. Those enemies have resources. And somewhere in the region, a creature far larger and more dangerous than the bandits on the road is moving through the dark, following orders that have nothing to do with Ark or his quiet life. But tonight, he sleeps. He has earned it. Episode 2. There is a story happening before we arrive. Every morning, a woman walks to a field as the sun comes up. She works there until the light shifts. She comes home. She prepares whatever she has. She starts again. Her name is Siona. She has 2 daughters. She has been doing this alone for over a year, since the person who used to share the work with her stopped coming back. Her older daughter, Marka, understands why this matters. Children often understand more than they are given credit for, which is how Ark, a traveling mercenary who looks like an extremely intimidating suit of armor and is trying very hard not to be noticed, ends up accepting a job posting from a girl who appears to be about 10 years old, guarding someone while they collect medicinal herbs in a forest where fang boars have been spotted. Ark's internal reaction to this assignment is, roughly, enthusiastic. This is exactly the kind of beginning quest he would expect from an RPG. Low stakes, gentle stakes. The ideal starting point for a person whose secondary goal, behind keeping his skeletal face hidden from the general population, is to understand how this world works before doing anything that might draw scrutiny. The first complication is that Marka is in a hurry. She needs to be back before her mother returns from the fields. The second complication is the reason. She did not tell her mother she was doing this. Marka's father died the year before, and her father's job was herb picking, and Marka has spent the intervening months learning every plant in the forest by heart, because she wants to be useful. She wants to ease the weight her mother is carrying. She thought the safest way to do that was to hire protection, go collect what they need, and be back before anyone worried. Ark listens to this plan and is briefly moved by it. He was, by his own admission, not this thoughtful at her age. He was mostly playing games. They head into the forest. Marka is an impressive guide. She knows what grows where, what each plant is for, which bark burns as an insect repellent. She leads Ark deeper into the woods with the confidence of someone who has been here many times, explaining as she goes. This one helps cuts and scrapes and is good for the skin. This flower keeps bugs away when burned. The kabomi tree is a bit further in if they can reach it. Ark follows, listening, genuinely impressed by the knowledge this child has accumulated out of love for her family. And then, in the undergrowth near the kabomi tree, something is injured and afraid and trying not to be noticed. It is small. A creature, what Marka immediately wants to hold, and Ark immediately moves to protect. Ark crouches slowly, because the creature is scared and something that is scared should be given the chance to be still before anything else happens. He coaxes it toward him with patience, making himself as non-threatening as a 2-meter suit of silver armor can be, and after a long moment, it comes. It has been hurt. Ark uses a heal spell, one of his support abilities, carried over from the priest and monk subclasses in his upgrade path, and the injury closes. The creature stares at him, then it stays beside him, then it settles on top of his armor like it has decided something. Marka suggests a name. Ark tries fried tofu, and then tempura. The creature reacts poorly to both. He looks at the tail, fluffy, round, like a dandelion or, in his native language, a tampopo. He tries mixing the words, arriving somewhere around Ponta. The creature responds. And just like that, the lone mercenary has a companion. Ponta is what this world calls a Ventu vulpes, a cottontail fox spirit, as they will learn later. These creatures are sensitive to human malice. They are difficult to earn the trust of, and they rarely choose companionship even with elves, who have a natural connection to spirit creatures. That this particular spirit creature has chosen to sit on the shoulder of what appears to be a heavily armed skeleton is, from a certain perspective, a judgment call about character. Pana has excellent judgment. They continue deeper into the woods. They find the kabumi tree. The medicinal herbs are there, growing well. Marka reaches for them with visible excitement. Then the ground shakes. A basilisk, 8 meters of reptilian bulk and absolute danger, rises from behind the tree. Basilisks are capable of petrification at a touch and carry poison in their breath. They are, in any reasonable classification, not the sort of creature you want to encounter while guarding a child. Ark moves without hesitation, pulling Marka back, positioning himself between her and the monster. What follows is a genuine battle. The creature charges, and Ark defends, analyzing its attack pattern while protecting Marka and watching for the specific attacks that can do real damage. Its claws carry paralytic venom. Its gaze can petrify. Its breath is toxic. Ark uses his shield to block, reads the openings, and systematically dismantles the monster's advantage point by point until the opening he needs presents itself. The basilisk does not survive the encounter. Marka, to her immense credit, does not lose her composure. She is scared. She is a child and she was just in mortal danger, but she holds on to her basket of herbs through the whole thing, because she has not lost sight of why she came. They return to the village. The basket is full. The fanged boar that had been causing concern in the area also no longer exists, because Ark encountered it on the way back and took care of it with the same unceremonious efficiency he brings to everything, claiming the fangs and runed stone as his reward and arranging for the meat to be distributed among the villagers. And then Siona comes home. She finds her daughter at the gate, a little dusty, holding a basket overflowing with medicinal herbs. Marka does not attempt to hide what she did. She is sorry for leaving without permission. She is also not sorry for what she accomplished. She shows her mother what she brought. There is a moment between them that does not need to be described in detail. Ark, standing nearby in his enormous armor, makes himself quiet and invisible as much as he is capable of doing so, because this is not a moment that belongs to him. He intercedes briefly on Marka's behalf when the situation calls for it. This was his error. He did not think carefully enough before agreeing to take the child into the woods, and then steps back to let the family have what they have. Later, Marka presses something into his hands. A small handmade item, crafted by a child who wanted to say thank you in the most tangible way she knew. Ark holds it with the same care he would give a legendary artifact. He tells her it is the finest reward he has ever received. He means it. He says goodbye to Ponta, who is, at this point, still technically following him around rather than formally living on his shoulder, and walks back toward the road. Ponta walks after him. Ark looks back. Ponta looks back at him. This arrangement is resolved without words. The world is not done with Ark today. In the capital, military commanders are reviewing casualty reports from the basilisk situation. The first one, the 8-meter specimen that the army eventually brought down with significant losses. The report notes something troubling. A second basilisk, the one that appeared in the forest during Ark's job, appears to have been killed by a single individual in a single strike. 15 dead, 38 injured. That is the cost of the army's basilisk. One blow. That is the cost of whoever Ark is. The officers discussing this report are not comfortable. They do not have a word for what could do that alone, and the two options they arrive at, a god or something considerably less benevolent, are not reassuring. Ark is walking home with Ponta on his shoulder, already thinking about tomorrow's quest. He wants something a little more challenging. Not dangerous, just engaging. He is enjoying this. He is not thinking about the reports. He should probably start thinking about the reports. Episode 3. Before we arrive at Ark's story this episode, someone else gets to speak first. She is a warrior, the daughter of a leader, raised to be a shield for her people. The pact that was supposed to protect her kin has become a hollow document. Humans continue to expand into elf territory. The world she moves through is full of deceit and calculation, and she has watched what happens to elves who trust the wrong assurances. She has decided that the only answer is strength, more than anyone else, enough to protect those who cannot protect themselves. Her name is Arianne Glenysmaple, and the episode opens with her resolve, spoken plainly over imagery of a world that has not given her much reason for optimism, until one encounter begins to shift the direction of her path in a way she does not expect. Meanwhile, Ark is living his best life, or something adjacent to it. He has been at this for a while now, running casual quests to cover his expenses, staying inconspicuous, enjoying the genuine strangeness and beauty of a world he never expected to walk around in physically. Today's work involved a group of bandits, specifically eliminating them, which Ark does with the efficient dispatch of someone for whom this is well within routine. He checks the cave they were using as a base. They had a substantial sum of coin accumulated. There is no question they were operating across a wide area and causing considerable harm. Ark is comfortable with the ethics of claiming their war chest as prize money. He is less comfortable with what else he finds. Empty cages, rows of them, in the back of the cave. He does not know what was kept in them. He does not push the question immediately. He pockets the coin, acknowledges that something was wrong here that goes beyond simple banditry, and heads back toward town. He does not get far. The girl he encounters on the road. She moves like someone who has been fighting for a long time, with the precise footwork and coiled readiness of a warrior in continuous readiness, attacks him without much preamble. A survivor from the bandit group is Ark's initial working theory, but she is too capable for that, and the way she moves toward him reads as fury that has a specific target, not the desperation of someone cornered. She is an elf, and she wants the children she believes he has taken. Ark defends without counterattacking, which is more complicated than it sounds when the person attacking you is genuinely skilled and has the righteous conviction of someone who believes every second of delay costs lives. He tries to talk. She is not interested in talking. She is interested in the cages she is certain he has children in. He does not have children in cages. He just walked out of a cave where there were empty ones, and the picture comes together. What changes everything is Ponta. Arianne is mid-motion when she sees the small spirit creature perched on Ark's shoulder regarding her with calm eyes. She stops. A spirit creature, sensitive to human malice, rare even among elves, the kind of companion that does not choose carelessly, is sitting voluntarily on this person. She processes this. She asks, with visible effort, why a spirit creature is with a human who just cleared a bandit cave. Ark explains, Ponta took a liking to him after he helped her when she was injured. She has been keeping him company since. He is still not entirely sure of the long-term arrangement. Arianne's posture changes. Not completely, not immediately, but the attack calculus shifts. She explains what she is doing here. The bandits who use these woods have been hunting elves, not for conventional crimes, but for an organized market. There are buyers. There is a supply chain. The empty cages are not a coincidence. And the elf children who were taken are not yet home. Ark asks where they are. Arianne does not know this cave's specific yield, but 4 children were taken from nearby. She can reach them if she can find where they are being held. And from what she knows, they are not far. They find them together. 4 young elves, frightened and collared with what Arianne identifies as mana-eater collars, devices that suppress spirit magic, preventing the captives from using their natural abilities to escape or call for help. Arianne tells Ark she has no way to remove them here. Ark uses Uncurse. The collars come apart. Arianne watches this with an expression that has moved well past surprise into something closer to reassessment. He heals the children while he is at it, using the heal spell from his monk skill tree. No injuries remain. No pain. The children are wide-eyed and confused and deeply relieved, clinging to each other, and Ark speaks to them gently in the way he has learned works, quietly, calmly, without rushing them. Arianne sends a message via Whispering Fowl, one of the spirit creatures used as a messenger system among elves, to arrange for the children's recovery. She explains the system to Ark when he asks. He is fascinated by it, though he keeps the comparison to a messenger pigeon crossed with a voice recorder largely to himself. The children go home. Ark and Arianne stand in the quiet of the forest. She tells him she has only ever heard of barbaric, dangerous humans. He seems to be something different from that. She notes that he can use the legendary teleportation magic. She asks who he is. He says, no one of importance. His name is Ark, a traveling mercenary, and this is Ponta, his traveling companion. Arianne gives him her name in return, her full name, the way elves reckon lineage, because she is apparently the kind of person who either gives you nothing or gives you the complete version. There is, in this, a kind of provisional trust. She is extending it carefully, testing it against the evidence in front of her. Then the Whispering Fowl returns with a message from her comrade Danka. He has located the headquarters of the elf hunters. It is in the village of Diento. He needs her there now. Ariane turns to Ark with a directness that she has apparently decided requires no softening. She needs a mercenary. She is offering to hire him. She wants to know, right now, if he is willing. What she has seen from him. He rescues people from situations where no one else would. He carries a spirit creature who does not accept poor judgment. He uses healing and curse-breaking abilities with a minimal need for ritual. He teleports. He is either the strangest person she has ever encountered or the most genuinely useful, and she has concluded, after perhaps 30 seconds of deliberation, that it is probably both. Ark says yes. Of course he says yes. Somewhere else in the world, the people who are behind all of this are having a different kind of meeting. The Lord of Diento, Triton du Diento, is receiving a report. The attempt to end the Louviert family's heir has failed. The mercenary who thwarted it was traveling alone and routed professionals. 2 basilisks, deployed by his contacts in the Eastern Empire as an experimental measure against the Louviert lands, were also individually defeated. Lord Triton does not take this news well. His son Eudolin, who apparently decided to personally accompany the elf hunters on their operation without permission, also failed and came back alone. The architecture of this conspiracy runs deep. Lord Triton has allegiances to Prince Descartes, who in turn has backers in the Eastern Empire with their own territorial ambitions. The Louviert family, meanwhile, is backed by the Western Empire's Prince sect, and nobody wants their allegiances revealed. There are elves being shipped to market. There is a Princess Uriarna who must not hear about any of it. And there is an arrangement with someone called Limbolt that must not be disrupted. This is a lot of threads. Ark is about to start pulling on most of them without entirely realizing it. For now, all he knows is that he has a client, a direction, and a job that feels, for the first time since arriving in this world, like it actually matters. Episode 4. Ariane does not extend trust lightly. She says as much to Ark at the opening of this episode, when she explains why she is willing to hire a human, any human, to help with something as sensitive as the rescue of her own people. She tells him that if he were anyone else, she would not risk it. But he carries no prejudice against elves. He saved children without weighing the cost to himself. And a spirit creature, whose instincts do not mislead, has accepted him, so she will trust him. She is asking him to help save her people. Ark takes exactly as long to answer as this requires, which is not very long at all. She has his services. The first thing he does to prove his usefulness is demonstrate the gate spell. It does not take them to the town entrance. Ark is specific about this. He aims for a point within walking distance rather than landing them in the middle of Diento and causing a scene. But the jump itself is remarkable. One moment they are in the forest. The next, the Lidl River is in front of them and Diento is visible in the distance. Ariane has seen a great deal, but instant teleportation without incantation is apparently not something she has seen before. She does not say much about it. She thinks about it, though you can tell she is thinking about it. They walk the rest of the way in. Duncan Neil Maple is waiting in the town. He is an elf warrior, a comrade of Ariane's, and has been inside Diento gathering intelligence for exactly the kind of operation they are about to attempt. He shares a family name with Ariane. This is the elf naming system, where the surname marks the village within the Great Canada Forest, which means they are not blood relations, but are from the same community. Ark finds this interesting and Danka finds Ark suspicious, which is a reasonable position to take when introduced to a mysterious armored figure your comrade has brought along on a sensitive mission. They find a quieter place to speak over a meal. Danka is not above appreciating the local cuisine while they debrief. The area has something of a reputation for its cooking, and he notes it with the satisfaction of someone who has been working in hostile territory for a while and is enjoying a moment of genuine pleasure. Ark cannot eat, and declines with the practiced ease of someone who has given this answer many times. His helmet is staying on regardless. Danka explains what he has learned. The elf hunters operating in this region have their headquarters near the entertainment district. The captives are being held there. After nightfall, once the area quiets, would be the right window to move. In the meanwhile, they wait. During that wait, something happens that the episode handles quietly, but that carries real weight. Ariane explains to Danka why she trusted Ark enough to bring him here. She does not dress it up. She tells Danka that without Ark's intervention in the previous confrontation, she might have been taken. This is not a small admission. Ariane does not speak carelessly about her own vulnerability. The fact that she names it to Danka directly says something about how she has processed the experience. Danka looks at Ark with different eyes after that. When nightfall arrives, the operation begins. Danka has located not only the headquarters, but a document inside. A contract for the purchase of elf slaves, with a name attached that stops both elves cold. Lord Triton du Diento, the feudal lord of this very town, is a buyer. The scope of what they are dealing with has just expanded considerably. This is not a freelance criminal enterprise. It has aristocratic backing and, through that, political cover. The captive elves are in 2 locations, the basement of the Elf Hunter's Manor, and 2 more being held at the Lord's Palace. They split the work. What follows at the manor is a firefight that Ark and Ariane manage together. The guards discover them before they can complete a silent infiltration, and the plan pivots smoothly to a direct engagement. Ark fires his sword with flame and cuts through the organized resistance with a speed that does not give the enemy time to coordinate. In the basement, the captive elves, more Mana-Eater collars. Ark applies Uncursed to each of them, one by one, and then heal for anyone who needs it. The elves look at him with an expression that has something of disbelief in it. Who is this human, and why is he doing this? And what is that spirit creature sitting on his shoulder? Ark gets them to their feet. Then the gate spell again. He sends them through to safety, to a rendezvous point where they can begin the journey home. He does this without fanfare, without waiting for gratitude, because there are still 2 captives at the palace and the night is not over. Danka takes the freed group home. Ark and Ariane take a moment. Then Dimension move toward the palace. As they go, there is a small beat, a ninja, one who helped provide Ariane with the tracking information that led to this whole operation, watches from the shadows. She notes that this strange human knew to call her what she is. The word should not have any meaning in this world. She files this away. She will be back. At the palace, things go exactly as planned until they do not. Which is to say, there is no going quietly in a nobleman's residence at night when you have already created a disturbance across town. The guards are on alert. Ark and Ariane are noticed almost immediately after entering from the bell tower. A running confrontation follows as they move deeper into the palace. Ark's wyvern slash clearing a path with the same efficient force he brings to everything. Ariane fighting alongside him with the skill of someone who has been doing this for far longer. They find Triton's chambers. They find the 2 captives. Triton is there. Lord Triton is not having a good evening. He starts talking. The righteous indignation of a man who holds a title and thinks titles mean the usual rules apply. Ark is not interested. Ariane is considerably less interested. Triton does not get to finish his speech. The 2 captive elves are removed to safety. Ark, in the brief moment before they need to move again, takes a very practical look at the Lord's personal vault and the documents within. He explains his reasoning to Ariane with the calm logic of someone who has thought this through. The Elf Hunters organization needs money to rebuild. If the money disappears with the people it was supposed to buy, the timeline on any reconstruction effort extends considerably. Depriving villains of their operational funds is, from a certain angle, just good strategy. Ariane considers this. She does not disagree. They leave. The palace is in an uproar. It does not matter. They are already gone. The freed elves are safe. The organization has taken a significant blow, financially and operationally. And Lord Triton, sitting in his chambers having just been relieved of considerable assets by a mercenary who walked in past his guards and walked out again with everything, is presumably having thoughts about the trajectory of his evening. The work is not done. There are more names on that trafficking contract. But for tonight, for elf children are home, 2 adults are free, and Ark and Ariane are walking through the dark toward their next destination. Ariane does not say thank you again. She already said it. Instead, she says, the remaining elves on the contract. They will need to find them. And she will need him for that. Ark says he knows. He is already thinking about how. Episode 5. A quick summary from Ark himself before the episode begins. After infiltrating the Elf Hunters' headquarters in Diento alongside Ariane and Danka, he gathered information from a source he describes as a furry-eared ninja, a description he gives with barely concealed delight. Following that intel, the group freed the captives held at the Hunter's base. 2 more elves remained at Lord Triton's palace. Danka took the rescued group to safety. And so Ark and Ariane moved on to the palace alone. This is where we pick up. There is a scene in the Lord's chambers before Ark and Ariane arrive that does not need extended description. Triton's son Eudolin, who has been behaving as though his family's crimes are an adventure available to him for personal entertainment, has returned from the failed operation alone, and Triton is educating him on his failures. The elves being held are still there. Lord Triton is the kind of person who demonstrates power over the powerless as a form of instruction. We do not linger here. We note it because it matters, because these are the exact people Ark and Ariane are coming to collect, and then we move. The palace infiltration does not go quietly. It never really stood a chance. The moment Ark and Arian enter from the bell tower, a guard rounds a corner, and the careful option is gone. Ark uses Wyvern Slash, which does what Wyvern Slash always does, and they are running. The pursuit is immediate and loud. They use the confusion the way Arian intended. The guards are chasing them in one direction while they move in another, and Dimension Move lets Ark blink through positions that should not be accessible on foot. They reach Triton's upper chambers. Triton is there with Eudolin, and the two captive elves are there as well. Ark and Arian enter. Triton immediately establishes that he considers himself to be the authority in this room. He invokes his title. He invokes the kingdom. He demands they stop. Ark introduces himself politely. The captive elves recognize Arian, who tells them they can rest now. Triton discovers, in the next several seconds, that his title does not function as intended when the people facing him have no particular interest in the usual social architecture. He is removed from the equation. Not permanently. He is still alive and physically unharmed, though significantly less in command of the situation than he would prefer. The captive elves are with Ark and Arian. They are safe. In the brief window that follows, Ark finds a hidden room. Inside, documents, financial records, the operational ledger of an organization with considerable reach, and coin, significant amounts of it. Ark gathers these with the systematic efficiency of someone who has already thought through why this is tactically sound. Without funding, the network cannot rebuild. Without records, they lose the threads that lead further up the chain. He explains this to Arian with the earnestness of someone who absolutely believes what he is saying, and also, it must be noted, loads a meaningful amount of gold into what appears to be an inventory system that functions for him alone. Arian thinks about this for a moment, then concludes she does not disagree. Triton's guards are outside. They need to move. Arian takes the forward position. She has the combat capability and the willingness to hold a corridor, while Ark handles the captive elves and the extracted documents. They fight their way through the palace, reach the outer walls, and the night takes them. Somewhere below in that same building, Triton is in a state that can be charitably described as incandescent. They escape into the woods. The freed elves move toward the rendezvous with Danka. Ark and Arian let the forest close around them, putting distance between themselves and the palace with ground-eating speed. Arian is quiet for a stretch of this. She is processing. The operation has concluded well, better, arguably, than she anticipated when she arrived in Dianto with Danka, but she understands that they have moved from carefully targeted disruption into something considerably more visible. What they did tonight will not go unnoticed at a political level. This turns out to be true in ways they do not see from the woods. In another part of the kingdom, a princess named Yuriarna is awake late, working through the implications of what she suspects she knows. She believes her brother Dekars is involved in the elf trade. She knows the situation is more complicated than simply reporting this, because nothing political is ever simple, and there are other brothers and other interests in a diplomatic arrangement that matters enormously. Her attendant Ferna serves her tea and listens. Yuriarna is already decided on her course. She will travel to the Grand Duchy of Limbalt. There is a formal relationship there that matters, and the only way to begin building something better between humans and elves is to start with the people who are already trying. She is heading toward the elves. Ark and Arian are heading away from the mess they made in Dianto. Their paths will not cross tonight, but the world is smaller than either of them currently appreciates. For now, the journey to Lalatoya, the elf settlement. 2 more nights in the forest, traveling overland. Arian moves efficiently and quietly. Ark keeps pace with the particular ease of a body that does not tire in the conventional sense. Pana rides comfortably. In the evenings, Ark hunts for food. Because Arian eats, he does not, but he enjoys the act of providing. And they camp with the economical simplicity of people who have been moving for days and know how to rest without ceremony. There is a small, genuine moment when Ark returns from hunting with a substantial catch and finds that the camp is quieter than expected, and Panta has seized the opportunity for some uncomplicated affection in his absence. The look on Arian's face when he arrives suggests she was not expecting to be caught mid-cuddle with a spirit creature and would prefer this not be the subject of extended commentary. Ark does not comment. He begins preparing the food. They travel. The forest opens. The settlement is ahead. Arian says, "This is the elf settlement of Lalatoya." Ark is about to have a very good 5 minutes. Episode 6. Ark's internal monologue upon arriving at Lalatoya is worth pausing on, because it is genuinely joyful, and there is not always room for that kind of uncomplicated feeling in this story. He is standing at the gates of an elf settlement. The gate is enormous. The trees surrounding it have been growing for longer than most kingdoms. The buildings inside are built into and around living wood in ways that suggest centuries of careful development. Elves move between them. actual elves, in an actual elf village, in the actual fantasy world he finds himself inhabiting. The word Ark produces for this experience, spoken entirely in the privacy of his own head, is buffet. A fantasy buffet. He uses the phrase, sacred temple erected in the name of the fantasy genre. He is possibly embarrassed by how much he means all of this. He will never admit how much he means all of this. Ariane announces herself at the gate with her full name and title, requesting an audience with the elder. She tells Ark to wait while she arranges permission. He waits. He looks around. He counts elves. This is fine. He is fine. Inside, the settlement is older than it looks, which is already extraordinary. Elves carry lifespans measured in centuries, and this place has been here since before the current political arrangements between any of the surrounding nations were ever negotiated. There is a massive tree at the settlement's center, larger than anything around it, the kind of tree that becomes a landmark, a marker, a thing that you navigate by. The elder lives there. Dylan Tog Lalatoya is the elder, and he is Ariane's father. Ark did not know this. Ariane did not mention it. He processes this information alongside the second piece, the elder's companion, who identifies herself as Glenys, wife of the elder, mother of Ariane, casually mentions that she turned 170 this year, and that this number is not changing. The elder, with the gentle correction of a man who has been living with someone for a very long time, clarifies that she is actually 245. Ariane, standing nearby, produces the particular expression of someone who has spent decades watching their parents do exactly this. Ark takes a moment to marvel at what long-lived actually means when your lifespan is measured against civilizations rather than generations. The elder thanks Ark for his help, formally, on behalf of all elves. He also gently notes that his daughter's decision to attack a feudal lord's palace was somewhat outside the parameters of the mission as originally understood. Ariane makes her case. They broke the treaty first. The mission was to disrupt the kidnapping operations. The Lord was the operation. Ark supports her account with calm and useful detail. The elder listens to all of it, nods, and says that this is going to require explanation at the general meeting of the elders, and he will be accompanying his daughter to that meeting. The trafficking contract needs to be on the table as well. Whatever names are on it will become the agenda for the next phase of this operation. Ariane will continue the work, and she will continue it with Ark, if he is willing, which the elder now formally proposes. The elves cannot pay him substantially in coin, but they can offer something else, information. There is a spring, the elder tells him, near a place called the Lord Crown, said to be capable of breaking any curse. If Ark's condition is truly a curse rather than an inherent quality of whatever happened to him, this might be the path to an answer. Ark's response to this is approximately as enthusiastic as you would expect from someone who has spent weeks wearing a full helmet at all times to avoid mass panic. They have dinner. Glenys is a remarkably warm host once the formal conversation is done, and Ark takes his place at the table in full armor, helmet on, and simply enjoys the company. The elder, who has been given a brief account of Ark's condition, tells him quietly that he and Glenys already know, and there is no need for discomfort. This is, from a social perspective, the most comfortable Ark has been since arriving in this world. In the morning, Dylan and Ariane head to the forest capital of Maple for the General Council of Elders. Ark travels with them. Introduced to a settlement larger still, Maple absorbs several smaller communities that could not sustain themselves independently, and its population numbers around 4,000. Ark walking through Maple in his silver armor draws attention in both directions. Suspicion from elves who have every reason to distrust human intentions, and something warmer from the two small elf children who remember him from Dianto. They spot him immediately. They run toward him. They show him their healed injuries and tell everyone watching that this is the person who helped them. Ark crouches to their level and listens to every word. It is, without question, his favorite thing that has happened in this world. Glenys, who has been watching this, offers him a spar. Not as a test of combat. She is not trying to evaluate him, because she already has enough information, but as an activity that suits two people who appreciate physical capability and are looking for something to do while the formal meetings conclude. Ark accepts. What follows is not shown in detail, but the way both of them carry themselves afterward suggests Glenys is considerably more formidable than her age number and gracious demeanor imply. The General Council of Elders concludes with the trafficking contract distributed among the settlements and a coordinated investigation authorized. Ariane is tasked with following the leads it contains. Ark is formally retained as her contracted mercenary, an arrangement that is, at this point, mostly a formality, because Ark was going to keep helping regardless. And then something else. At the edge of sleep, before the next day begins, Ark tries something he has been wondering about since the beginning. He knows his skeleton body might be the result of a curse rather than an inherent quality of the world he has entered. The Bishop-class subpath has an ability called Uncurse. He has used it on others. He tries it on himself. It works. Briefly, the effect fades. The curse returns. Either it is self-perpetuating, or something else is maintaining it from a source he cannot yet reach. But the fact that Uncurse has any effect at all is significant. He tries again, and again, and again, in the darkness, casting the same spell over and over while the settlement sleeps, trying to find the ceiling of what he can do and landing instead at the ceiling of what the spell can currently reach. There is more to this than a simple curse. There is a source, and if the spring near the Lord Crown is real and can break anything, then eventually there will be an answer. Eventually. For now, the next morning, they ride toward Olaf, the capital of the Roden Kingdom. There are names on the contract. There is work to do. Ponta rides on his shoulder, unbothered by any of it.